cause problems. We're doing all of our our waste from our process now goes to a pad where we manage it biodynamically. So we put biodynamic preparations in compost and that goes back in the vineyard. All our wastewater is treated the same way, and that ends up on the vineyards, around the gardens and all sorts of things. So we're sort of trying to do as much totally environmentally as possible. And it's added to by the fact that we're so far out from everywhere else. Our limitations are water, transport, power. So if we can do more of those ourselves, then we overcome all the issues that we've got.
Hey, how many years have you been doing the biodynamic applications?
Since 06.
Certified?
Not yet,
Not yet.
but we'll be certified organic within a couple of years, and then the biodynamic is effectively just an added bonus. It's just using the right sequence of events. To give you an idea, last year was ironic. We had a drought. We had our first biodynamic preparations to put on in the autumn, and that times with Anzac Day, which is one of the sort of celebrations we have here. We looked at the weather forecast, and it was looking like we had no rain all through the summer like this, except for a bit in January. And the day that Prue had to put the biodynamic preparations out for the autumn sprays, it rained, and it rained for 5 days. So the bugs that she put out suddenly had a life, because if she'd put them out in dry, hot soil, it wouldn't have been any benefit at all. So it's just amazing how these rhythms sort of work together. We didn't expect that to happen. And the other interesting thing is we pick Hill of Grace around Easter time, and it must be a full moon effect, but we looked back, or Prue checked with the local padre, and we went back, the local pastor indeed, went back through the church records, and we found that all over 50 years of picking Hill of Grace, only about 3 didn't coincide with Easter. So obviously they said Easter on the wrong day, or with the wrong moon. So it's really interesting how those sort of effects come into play. I'm going to show you a Hill of Grace wine this morning, once we've had a bit of a taste. The first one for the season is actually early, where Easter's a couple of weeks away, as you know, so it's actually a bit earlier. But by the time we pick the older blocks, I think it will be right next door to Easter, so it will still be within the phase. But this year has been almost a month earlier than normal. It's been extraordinary. Very warm. Well, actually, February was cool, but since March it's been very warm and dry. Really perfect weather. If it was 5 or 10 degrees cooler, we'd be happy. But up in the high 30s, low 40s, that's starting to push the boundaries a bit, even for us. So,